Here we go. Here we go. I know I've only been showing off all the rare wins that I get with this deck. It's totally obvious. I'm just handpicking the most interesting wins, because why wouldn't I? But finally I've got a really solid loss for you. And I'll explain why when it's done. So, replacing the Deathfire Crescendo because I don't see a Zix, I don't see a Gloom Chaser, and I replaced that other card because I've already forgotten what it was. It was a Ritual Banishing. I didn't want that on turn 1 for obvious reasons. There's no point. Alright. And then, of course, I draw a Zix. And kind of wish that I had kept the Deathfire Crescendo, but it was still the right mulligan to take. Let me just move this out of the way a little bit for you, while I try to distract you with the sound of my voice. Okay. So, this deck that I'm playing is Arcanyst. And I'm a fan of Arcanyst tribe. But it's also Kara. So I'm expecting things like Prismatic Illusionist, then BBS, and then another spell or something, right? On an early turn. And because the little prisms that the Prismatic Illusionist, the illusions the Prismatic Illusionist creates get pumped by Kara's new Bloodborne spell. But I have a pretty strong hand. I'm able to play a Duelyst and a motherfucking Zix, thanks to the old Lurking Fear turn 1. And the Zix, one of them is going to be there. That's a good position. She can't hit it. She can't touch it. She could have killed this, but she didn't want to. She's hanging back, playing it safe. And the Prismatic Beast comes out. She flash freezes Duelyst. That 1 HP is pretty relevant, because now if she really wanted to, she could go hit it on the next turn to get rid of it. But little did she know, I have a card called Azurehorn Shaman, and a card called Darkfire Sacrifice. And I mean, Ironclad and Consuming Rebirth is this turn, right? But another turn, I can probably heal this, and maybe some other things too. And the reason I want to Ironclad Consuming Rebirth is because both of these are immensely valuable, immensely more valuable for every turn they're allowed to use their abilities. Pump each other up. She gets to replace twice. We cannot have that here. Not in this house. And so, I thought that I'd keep this guy. Well, no, I guess I would replace him, right? So I did keep him. I think I kept him because I acknowledged that I had a pretty good board for this kind of combo, and I was hoping to draw something a little bit more exciting and flashy. Like, think about a Reaper. Reaper would have been amazing. Even like another Ironclad or something would have been interesting. All the Ironclads. I will take every Ironclad I can in this matchup here, because I was expecting a lot more Prismatic Illusionists, and I think I definitely got a bit more lucky on the draw. And she was able to play her 2-drop in Aethermaster, but that's it. There were some potential, like, turn 1 cool plays with maybe a Prismatic Illusionist, spell, like Polarity or something, and then Snow Chaser, but I don't know, maybe it's really unlikely she runs Snow Chasers, right? I'm up here and she can hit me if she wants, but I don't mind all that much. She can't kill my Ironclad. She can transform it. It's a Foxy now. It's a really cool looking fox, but it's not quite as cool as Ironclad. Interestingly enough, This is a 3-3, and this is a 4-3. So, it's not like she adjusted the stats a ton. I lost 3 stats on it, from 5-4 to 3-3, but it's besides the point. It was the ability we were after. And so this turn, while my hand looks incredibly subpar, is a really good turn. And pause, because what I needed to do there was move the Fox Ravager to this spot, and the Duelyst could have stayed there, I suppose, but the point would be that Fox Ravager needed to be in range of the Alabi Sage. This would have resulted in, I think, a bit more of a efficient distribution of health points. Because when you're playing a Zoran Shaman to heal up creatures, it's nice to leave them with that goal of 3 HP after they've done their dirty work. And if I'm healing it for 4 and it hits into the 4 attack, then it's going to go back down to 2 HP, which is within hitting range. And sure, I still get a totem if it's, still got its ability intact, but what we really want to aim for is keeping this like a 5-5 by hitting that, and then this can drop down in points. It's just a stupid fox. That said, this being a 3-6 that you don't want to have to dispel, versus this being like a 5-5 that you're really happy to dispel. Maybe there was a big difference there. She chooses to go and hit it anyway, so there was no Chromatic Cold in hand. Otherwise, that is the definite target. And now my totem, or my tombstone spawns on the far left. Probably the worst spawn, but that doesn't matter because it did spawn, and I can start cornering her off. And a lot of this, so much of this, is really all thanks to our good friend Ironclad consuming Rebirth. I mean, people say that 5 mana for a 4-3 is horrible, and of course that's true, but that's not what Ironclad is. Ironclad represents a piece of the puzzle of this deck, which relies on a lot of synergy and being able to sacrifice something according to the situation, Just kind of like spitball some words at you. Flexibility, versatility, spontaneity, and swarmility. Those things. She played another Alabi Sage way in the corner. She really wants this thing to stay alive, but it's a weird place to play it, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, okay. If she had played it any other spot, the 3-6 could hit it. Maybe I had like a way to ping it to kill it. I suppose. Yeah, it had to play there, right? And now, there are some different places I could play Nasher, which is what I'm going to play. There are some places I could play it. I could play it over here, I could play it over here, over here, over here. I want to play it there, though, because this way I am totally trapping her in this top right corner with so few places to go. Yeah, she can move the 4-4 here, hit the 3-3 after, like, healing it up a lot, but that doesn't sound like a very good trade, right? So she's going to move left, away from the 3-3, so that she can provoke me. Try to set up some value here. And she does get another good minion. She gets the provoke minion, I think is probably one of the ones she wanted. But there was no space it could have gone there. That would have been fantastic. She used the polarity on my my totem, by the way. That's why I died. Because there was nothing she could hit anything important with. Like, you know, you want a polarity, you're like 5 billion HP Alabeast, so that you get one of the most beautiful OTKs that you could ever achieve. But it was a defensive polarity, and it was a well-played one. I think that's lethal this turn. The thing about Nasher is that he can go here, hit the Owl Beast, right? To kill both the Owl Beast and the Kara Winterblade. And in a deck like this, where a Deathfire Crescendo is sometimes just like one more thing dying away from lethal, both of these dying is huge, especially that she also took the 3 health. People talk down Nasher like he ain't nobody, but hey! Nasher has a favorite TV show as well, and he listens to certain podcasts, he reads books, he's a person too, with people who love him, and I'm one of those people. And that's the game. I mean, it's not a super exciting win or finish or anything like that, but it was a loss in the end for my opponent, like I promised. No, I'm serious though. I did try to look through and find an interesting game that I lost, but every time that I lost with this deck in my match history, I don't know, I went back a lot of days. I went back like a week. It was just not interesting to me. And I'm not saying that because the result was that I lost. Like, there were a lot of close games, but all the close games I ended up winning, I think. Or they were not of a quality that I wanted to showcase. Like, I'd make too many misplays, or my opponent would make too many misplays, and they didn't belong in a video showcasing the deck. But that said, I will say this: a lot of the losses that this deck gets definitely is when I failed to play a Lurking Fear in the first few turns, like turns 1, 2, or 3, something like that. Lurking Fear on turn 1 is amazing. Or on turn 2 if your first turn plays like a Gloom Chaser or I don't know. But if I have a Zerhorn Shaman in hand and a Lurking Fear, and I do the math on how I can curve out over the next couple turns with the other Dying Wish cards in hand, then I play the Lurking Fear because there's no minion on the board for my opponent to manipulate in any way, you know? Which I think is actually really relevant. With so many cards in the game, the best way to play around what your opponent can do sometimes is to not play something they can use against you. So, right, to win with this deck, just mull viciously for a Lurking Fear. Turn 1, replace viciously for a Lurking Fear, and hope that you get one, and your match should go pretty well. Thanks for watching. Sorry for going real run on here at the end, but I wanted to explain that. And I promise, if I do get an interesting game where I lose, or if I find one in my match history, then I'll upload that too. Like, I definitely do not consider myself an amazing player or anything like that. I just really like this deck and the game, and wanted to share it with you because I enjoy creating the decks almost more than I enjoy playing them. But I'm weird like that. Have a great day. Thanks for watching the videos, and peace out. Boop.